I'm so excited to cover this. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about Frank and Ollie. Frank and Ollie is a 1995 documentary released theatrically. It's written and directed by Theodore Thomas, cinematography by Erik Daarstad, editing by Kathryn Camp, and its music is by John Reynolds. Theodore Thomas is best known for Where the Toys Come From, National Geographic specials, Walt and El Grupo, and this. Erik Daarstad is best known for ABC and CBS after school specials, Liza Liza, Skies Are Gray, and Sunburst. Kathryn Camp is best known for Awakenings, The Goonies, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and When a Man Loves a Woman. John Reynolds is best known for Tears of the Sun, A Bug's Life, Gypsy, and this. The film stars Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston, both of whom I've covered for technical reasons, animators, in previous videos that will be listed and linked in the description. As I said, this is a documentary about Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston. Those are two of the 9 old men during Walt's amazing era of the 9 old men animators. Frank and Ollie have been lifelong friends, and that's why Theodore Thomas, Frank's son, made this documentary about them. It had a limited release. It started at Sundance and then had a limited theatrical run. It's got an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is very good, and it's pretty awesome. I think this is the first true documentary we've had. Obviously, true life adventures have happened, but those had the voiceover that were like edited into stories, which I guess they do for nature documentaries, so those do count. I count the true life adventures, but like a documentary about people released under the Disney name, this has to be the first because I do not recall another one. And it was the first thing in blue on my list. My list is color-coded by live action animation, documentary, and I think nature, actually. And this was the first blue thing I've ever come across. So I was super excited to watch a documentary. I think maybe to break up what I've been watching, but also especially because it was about Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnston, who are the part of the 9 old men, so they're animators, and I love anything like behind the scenes where I get to like see people animating or see rough stuff. I'm a nerd about that stuff. Obviously, I went to film school, so I'm all about the behind the scenes and stuff. So I really enjoyed this documentary. I thought it was awesome to learn a lot. I had no idea Frank and Ollie have been friends since college, and that they live next to each other, and they were like roommates all the way up until one of them got married, and like I had no idea that they were friends before Disney, and then stayed friends through Disney, and like live next to each other and go to work together all the time. And I loved it. I loved learning about Frank and Ollie and learning what specific sequences they edited and that they would like argue about or help each other with or whatever. It was so fun to see rough sequences, like hearing them talk about animating Snow White, or hearing them talk about animating Pinocchio or animating Alice or animating Jungle Book or Rescuers. Like, it was crazy to hear them talk about animating the most iconic movies and sequences. A historian in the documentary pointed out that probably half the world, which is like 3.5 billion people, probably have seen something Frank and Ollie have animated, which is just mind-blowing to think about. Really resonated with me. Frank said he was a romantic, and he thinks Ollie's a romantic because being a romantic is living with your dreams. And that was very beautiful to me. It resonated with me, and I really enjoyed this. Like, I don't have anything technical to say. It was a pretty standard documentary. It had the talking head interviews. It had old footage. It had old, like, rough animation sequences. It had animation, like, finished animation sequences. It had B-roll. It had everything a documentary normally has when it's this kind of documentary. It really warmed my heart to learn about Frank and Ollie's friendship and their lives together, and about their wives and their passions outside of Disney. I knew that Frank Thomas was a pianist, and I knew he was a part of that famous Firehouse 5+2 band that was out of all the animators. Well, not all of them. Obviously, that's only 7. But, and then Ollie, I didn't know, really loves trains, and he's the one that got Walt Disney into trains. So I didn't know that, and that was just like, that's so fun to learn, and I really liked it, and I think it was good. Highly recommend watching Frank and Ollie. It was on Disney Plus. That's how I watched it. And I look forward to future documentaries, honestly. That's everything I have for Frank and Ollie. I really enjoyed this movie. I highly recommend hop on Disney Plus and watch it. It's only an hour and a half and it flew by for me. I'm gonna give it 7 drawings out of 10. Our total movie count is, comparing that total cry count are still the same, obviously. If you want to keep up with the movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You'll find out movie I'm watching when. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Until join my Patreon. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, and subscribe if you are, so you do. And there's no villain, so don't be a turd about it. Frank and Ollie's friendship is the cutest thing. Frank and Ollie's friendship is the cutest thing. Frank and Ollie's friendship is the cutest